Number 30 talks about buying snack food. So we have Martin and Eva, and they put their money together to buy snacks on their coffee break. One day they spend $6.75 on one carton of milk. They buy milk and two donuts and one cup of coffee, and they spend $6.75. The next day they spend $8.50, and that day they buy three donuts and two cups of coffee. And the third day they buy a carton of milk, a donut, and two cups of coffee, and they spend $7.25. And what the question asks, it wants you to figure out if they have $6.45 left for the week, can they buy two milks and two donuts? Do they have enough money? So you're going to use these three equations, these three unknowns, to find the cost of the milk and the donuts and the coffee, and then figure out if they can purchase them based on how much money they have. So if you look, this second equation doesn't have an m, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the first and the third equation and get rid of the m, and then hopefully I can solve it from there. So if I take the first equation just like it's written, and I'm going to do a -1 times this third equation, and I would get negative m minus d minus 2c equals -725, which gives me d minus c equals -0.5. So there's an equation, and here's an equation that just has d's and c's. So I'm going to use the 3d plus 2c equals 850, and I'm going to take this one and I'm going to multiply it times 2. And that gives me 2d minus 2c equals -1. So that cancels, and I get 5d equals 750. Divide 750 by 5, and you get the cost of a donut is $1.50. So the donuts cost $1.50. Go back to one of these equations like this one. D minus C equals -0.5. -0.5, that's hard to read. So $1.50 minus C equals -0.5. Subtract $1.50 from both sides, you get -C equals -2. So C equals 2. So coffee costs $2, donuts cost $1.50. And if that's true, then go back to one of your equations. I'll use this equation. The milk plus a donut plus two coffees, so 2 times 2 would be 725. And if that's true, then 2 times 2 plus $1.50 is 550. So the milk plus 550 is 725. Subtract 550, and you'll get that milk had to cost $1.75. Alright, so milk costs $1.75, donuts $1.50, coffee $2. Can they buy two milks and two donuts? So two milks and two donuts, two milks, 2 times $1.75, and two donuts, 2 times $1.50, actually turns out it costs $6.50. They have $6.45, so my answer to my question would be no. They don't quite have enough money to purchase that. All right, last two problems have to do, they give you a table and they want you to find a quadratic formula to fit it. All right, in problem 33, we have the years and the retail coffee sales in billions. The years are the years since 2002, so this would be 2002, 2004, 2006, and then the billions of dollars in coffee sales. And they want us to first fit a quadratic model to the data. So what we do, if you know your quadratic model, is ax squared plus bx plus c. So when x is 0, this would be a times 0 squared plus b times 0 plus c equals 8.4, which actually would be, if you multiply a times 0 squared, you get 0, and b times 0 is 0. So this actually turns out, simplifies to c equals 8.4. Then I plug in 2. A times 2 squared plus b times 2 plus c equals 9.6, which is 4a plus 2b plus c equals 9.6. So there's a second equation. And then the third equation is going to be a times 4 squared plus b times 4 plus c equals 12.3, which is 16a plus 4b plus c equals 12.3. So this is my third equation. All right, so I know what c is. It's 8.4. So basically I could go ahead and fill that in. 4a plus 2b plus 8.4 equals 9.6. So another way to write that is 4a plus 2b equals, let's see, subtract 8.4. 9.6 minus 8.4 is 1.2. And then this one becomes 16a plus 4b plus c. So if I move that over here, 12.3 minus 8.4 would be 3.9. So here's my two equations with two unknowns. So I just need to decide, am I going to cancel out the a's or the b's? I think I'll cancel out the b's. So I'm going to multiply this top line by negative 2. And I get negative 8a plus, minus 4b minus 2 equals negative 2.4. Let me go back through that again. Negative 2 times 4a is negative 8a. Negative 2 times 2b is minus 4b. And then negative 2 times 1.2 is negative 2.4. And the bottom line stays the same. Combine your like term, or combine these two lines together, you get 8a, this cancels, equals 1.5. 1.5 divided by 8 is, a is 0.1875. Let's change that to a fraction. I don't really like it as a decimal. 3/16. 3/16. All right. So a is 3/16. C is 8.4. Let's plug into, we can even plug into this formula. 16 times a plus 4b plus c equals 12.3. All right, so 8.4, 12.3 minus 8.4 is 3.9. So I get 16 times 3/16. That's 3 plus 4b equals 3.9. Subtract 3, divide by 4, and if I change that to a fraction, it's b equals 9/40. All right, and then 8.4, if I wanted to write that as a fraction, is 42/5. Since everything else is a fraction, we'll do that as 42/5. So my quadratic equation is going to be f of x equals ax squared, 3/16 x squared, plus bx plus c. And what they want me to do in part B, this is the answer to part A. In part B, they want me to plug in and figure out the retail sales of coffee in 2008. Well, if X is the years since 2002, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to plug in 6. So I'm going to take my calculator and plug in 6 for X. So I'd want to do 3/16 times 6 squared plus 9/40 times 6 plus 42/5. Alright, so I come over here and I take the equation, but instead of x, I put in 6 because 2008 would be 6 years after 2002. And when I do that, I get 16.5. So that's my answer. $16.5 billion is the estimate for retail sales of coffee in 2008. 36 is worked the same way as 33. You follow the same exact process, and they want you to find it for 2002, which would be year 7. So if you have any questions with that, let me know. If not, that should get your homework for section 6 too.